In Sopranos, this is our first Sopranos review, and we are reviewing the first episode of The Sopranos, which is obviously the pilot episode. Let's begin. First off, it starts off in 1999. We see Tony walking down his driveway to pick up the newspaper as we hear a narration of his voice going on in the background as he talks about how he got in at the end and that the golden age for the mafia is over. In another scene, we see Tony with his therapist, Dr. Jenny Melfi, after having a panic attack in his back garden. We see Tony tell her that he is a waste management consultant, but really he is a mafia boss, and that is exactly what Melfi knows him as. But correction, in this episode there is an inaccuracy. That is that continuously Tony is referred to as the boss of New Jersey, as the Don of the New Jersey Mafia. But really, at this time, he is actually only a capo. He is described as boss because originally the show creators had the plan to make him boss immediately starting off. But then that changed in the second episode of season 1. But he is really a capo. The boss of the crime family of the New Jersey Mafia is Jackie Aprile, with capos Larry Barisi, Tony Soprano, and Junior Soprano acting as capos. Then we see captains such as Ray, Jimmy, and others. Also in this episode, we see that he is dealing with tensions in his own family with his wife Carmela and teenage daughter Meadow, as well as trying to keeping his nephew Christopher Montasante, whom he calls his nephew, in check because his nephew has been robbing Tony's uncle's trucks, robbing Junior's trucks. This is also another interesting story beat in this episode. Uncle Junior makes a number of remarks in which it is seen that he resents Tony's quick rise in the crime family, while Junior's own status and power has declined since he negotiated the peace in 1998 with Jackie Aprile. Tony has also been seen to have a strained relationship with his mother, Livia, who is an angry woman and is a woman of harsh words. When Tony suggests that she could move into a comfortable retirement home, Livia responds negatively and says that they're trying to get rid of her. And it is this confrontation which we see at the retirement home with his mother which triggers another panic attack. With Tony returning to Melfi, he tells her about a family of ducks which were living in his swimming pool but left when the ducklings fled. Once he is guided by Melfi's advice, Tony realizes that he is sad to see them go because he sees them as a metaphor, as a sign of his own family, as he is scared that he will lose his family because he knows that in this life it's very rare that Tony will get out alive, as he thinks he will either end up in jail or die. We also see when a Czechoslovakian criminal organization bids against Tony during a waste management contract, Christopher, his nephew, acts on his own and kills one of the Czechs. After this, the Czechs withdraw their bid. Another interesting story beat is when Tony is sitting outside of Satrial's, and then Silvio turns up and tells him that Junior wants to kill turncoat Little Pussy Mangalaro in a restaurant he frequents, owned by Tony's childhood friend, Artie Bucco. As Tony believes this murder would not only ruin the restaurant's reputation but get Artie into trouble, he asks Junior not to do it. But Junior refuses, and then with an inaccuracy, Junior shouts that while Tony may be the boss of New Jersey, he's not the boss of his Uncle Junior. Of course, this is because of the pilot episode, but in this actual episode, he is not actually boss, but is consistency referred to it, but really, like I said earlier, he is just a capo. Tony then tries to get Artie to close the restaurant for 3 weeks after Paulie gives him some advice. But Artie's wife, Charmaine, who has a hatred of Tony and the New Jersey Mafia, refuses them. Tony, however, arranges for his right-hand man, Silvio Dante, to work with somebody else to arrange a bomb to go off at the restaurant, as Artie's reputation will not be damaged and he will be able to claim on the insurance. Tony, at Tony's son's birthday party, Christopher is angry that he did not receive recognition for killing the Czech, and he tells Tony that he believes he should write his own movies, write his own stories, and completely change his life by moving into Hollywood. Tony is furious at this and grabs Christopher from his seat and starts shouting at Christopher and asks Christopher if he's going to become the next informant. Will he become the next rat in a long line of rats? When Junior drives Livia back home after the party, when he's driving Livia to the party, he says something along the lines of something may have to be done about Tony, or he says something has to be done about Tony. He says one of the two. And when Livia's listening, she's silently looking a different way, but you can see a smile on her face as if she wants Tony to sort of die, if that's what she's suggesting. But we do not know if that is what he's hinting at. But what this first episode does is it sets up the universe, which is the Sopranos. And with this kickoff episode, we can immediately begin to see what's coming next as we move forward. And as many expect, we will see a new beginning of sorts. And now, this is the first episode review of Season 1, Episode 1. Season 1, Episode 1, but we are also going to move into the next season, which we will be doing. The next episode, which we will be doing next. Thank you for listening, and as always, keep coming back.